What's up everyone? So in this video, I'm just gonna go over my tune. Holley Terminator X, this is my tune on my stock bottom end 4th gen Camaro. Hopefully you can learn something. I'm just gonna walk through it. I'm gonna show you my timing, show you my VE table, show you my boost ramp. Just gonna be honest and show you what it all looks like. I got a few areas that I'm gonna point out where I see some improvement. So this is my new personal best from the MKE event that I ran, Little Gangsters. So here we go. If you appreciate this content, Dad and I have our own t-shirt line just like everybody else on the internet or YouTube. It's just we try to market more towards dads. So we've got drag racing dads are cooler than other dads, hot rods and dad bods shirt. If you want to check out our website, I'll have it linked down below. And let's get into the video. So this is my Holley Terminator X tune. I'm just gonna open this one up. This is my personal best. So it was the second round of eliminations, I believe. I forgot to rename it. I did have 12 pounds, I think, on the front of the car. The finals, I'll show you what I did. I played with some timing and it really liked it and wheelied further and longer than it ever has wanted to before. So I found some power in the 60 foot that I didn't even know I was missing until I'll show you what I did. But here's my tune-up. Hopefully this is recording a high enough resolution you can see it. Right, wrong, or indifferent, this is what my VE table looks like. The fueling is super happy, coming up into boost and running out the back. I know my fuel pressure is dropping a little bit, so these might be a little higher than they're supposed to be. But I am running in E85. They're Bosch 210 injectors, running just E85. Storage values on everything, VE based. What else we got here? I'll show you my staging cycle. They're a little aggressive right now because I'm having that weird solenoid issue, but this is where mine are set. I nailed my dad's bump settings on this latest tune-up. I'm really happy with that. I'll have to see where I'm at on those. Terminator X, E85, basic IO, staging, all that, yada yada, 68%, 12 hertz. Closed loop learning, I do have closed loop on for 10%. Learning's 10%, but I pretty much wipe that out after every tune. I almost never pull from it. Individual cylinder, I don't have anything going on there yet. Base fuel, here's my VE table again. It starts around 40 down here in the corner, and it's working its way up to about 120. I think that's about 34 pounds of boost. Oh, I just put this, I just put Terminator on my other computer. So where's preferences? I want this for boost. There we go. So yeah, I'm pretty much maxing out this table at the 34 pounds of boost. So I need to rescale my VE table, but the fueling's really happy here. Fuel graph, if you want to see it, and there she is. Pretty smooth. I would always err on the smoother side of a fuel curve than peaky. If yours has a bunch of peaks and valleys in there, the car probably ain't gonna run right. Here's my target air fuel ratios. So I'm 7.57. I don't know what that converts to gas scale. Well, here we can find out. Doop. Doop. So it's 11.4. So I'm targeting 11.4 on gas scale. I just won't save this tune. And then acceleration and enrichment. I think pretty much all these I have. I might have added a little bit more fuel here, but other than that, it should be all like stock values, like whatever the Terminator. I started out with the handheld, got it running. As soon as I got it running on the handheld, I loaded in the computer, pulled the tune, and then started playing with it from there. I think I added a little bit more fuel during startup here. Same here. Let's go. That's all my fueling. Fuel sensors. All those are standard, whatever. Idle speed. I target 900. You know, fade it out as the car's warming up. 40, 60. Here's all my RPM to start idle. 1,000. Park. This probably needs tweaked. I probably need to open up my throttle body a little bit so that I can lower these values here. Seems to work. I don't daily it, so there's a couple little weird things here and there, but it's a weekend car. So yes, I'm going to make excuses. Here's my timing. I'm sure everybody's going to be really interested in seeing this. I'll put up a picture of my plug. I'm really happy with the timing. I had a couple guys look at it, and I'm not the best at pulling or reading spark plugs, but I really appreciate a couple help from a couple guys, their input on it. I'm running 15 degrees really out the back. E85, good intercooler. We can go over my intake air temps at the end of the pass here. 15 degrees. Where am I? As I'm building boost, you know, I'm in here. Well, here I can open up this data log. Or do I have it open already? Yeah, we'll just activate the overlay. So here's where you start building boost, you know, kind of in here. And then as you let off the trans brake and it rides up here. By the time I'm at 20 pounds of boost, I'm 20-ish degrees of timing, and then it fades out to 14 while we're still in those really torquey areas on the stock head, stock rods. And then I put in a degree or two after like 6,400, 6,500 RPM in here. If you want to see, there's my timing table. If you ever notice when you're driving around your car and your exhaust is like you haven't been being on it, you're just cruising it around and the exhaust is like glowing red, really hot, that means you don't have enough timing in the driving around cells, and you're actually heating up your exhaust because you are so far retarded on the timing compared to where you should be. So if you guys have 15 degrees of timing and you're driving around cells, you know, 2,500, 3,000 RPM, your cruising cells, that's why you need to put more timing in it. Cranking, 12 degrees, 350. Main spark rev limiter is 8,000. Rev limiter 1's 4,500. I'm using my two-step offset table. I have a video on that. If you want to learn how to do that, you can actually make your Terminator act like a Dominator, in where once you hit a certain amount of boost, it'll drop down to whatever RPM you want it at, as long as it maintains that boost. If you fall down below that boost, you either have to pull more timing or put more RPM in it. And if you aren't maintaining that boost, it will revert back to this number of 4,500. Launch retard, I'm not using this table. I'm using an advanced table so I can run it on a switch right now. I think this is all. I don't even know. I forgot I even did this. Yeah, we'll ignore that. Just leave that alone for now. I'm sure everybody was really curious on the timing numbers. Dual port Mac. I just have the 75%. I like using modulation, either 75 or like 50, 60%, something like that. That way, if you have to pedal the car, it actually responds to it a little better, I feel. I shut it off for one pass, and I immediately felt it in my burnout when I let off the throttle. You know, it didn't cut what the dome pressure was making boost until I got to like 0% throttle. So it felt like it almost hung the throttle a little, and I definitely didn't like that. For my dome pressure, I have a compressor, regulator set at 75 psi, controller setup is fast, and that seems to work really good. A lot of guys have to go in here and tune these PID terms, which I don't even remember what they do. I tried medium, I tried fast. Fast seemed to work a little better, maintain boost a little better, so that's what I've been using. Boost versus time, this is it. There's no ramp at all. Just a big old turbo, and I think I have a couple exhaust leaks, so she takes some time to get going. And when we look over the log, I'll show you, it takes, you know, a second before it's making really any boost. So this is kind of just there to set my highest number, which is, I'm running 55 pounds on the dome right now. It makes right around 34 pounds of boost and then tapers off to like 32. That's pretty much it for boost. Transmission, I bought like a $20 air cylinder off of Amazon, and I wired that up to a Mac valve in my compressor, and that is what's shifting my car for me. This blast time at MKE is the first time I had it working correctly. It's super nice to not have to shift it because I was always late or early or something. So that's been super nice. So it's set up for a 3-speed. On the front side, I go first, second, third. On backside stuff, no preps, I'll do second, third, and launch in second, and then I'll run it as a 2-speed. So yeah, I'm commanding at 72 and minimum of 1.6 seconds. 2.3 is 7,500 and minimum of 3 seconds. Seems to work super well. Don't have a dump valve, don't have a spool valve. And then advanced tables. So here is my current spool help amount. This is constantly changing, kind of depending on the weather, really, and the humidity in the DA. But something like this is a good starting point, probably, unless you have like a tiny turbo that just doesn't really care. These turbos, you really got to, these larger turbos, it's an 85-102. They really got to see 4 or 5 pounds of boost before they really start to light. And once they do, you can yank all the timing out of it until your desired boost. Once you're at your desired boost, jam all the timing back in. I run a target dome offset. So over on your boost table here, you can, you have a trans brake launch. This is dome pressure. This isn't boost. So if I'm targeting 15 pounds on the dome, but 15 pounds only makes 5 pounds on your setup, obviously I want more than that. So what I'll do is rather than changing that number and making it inconsistent, I have an advanced table where I add more dome on top of it. So this can be 20, this can be 15, this can be 10, kind of just depends on your setup. And then what I'll do is I add dome pressure until I get to my target boost. And then once I'm at my target boost, I go to 0. If I go past my target boost, I actually start pulling dome away from it. And this is all happening while I'm on the trans brake. So I really like doing that. That's been really effective at speeding up my spool because that wastegate doesn't crack open a little bit on the way up to my target. And then if I am in a scenario where I pulled too much timing with my spool table, it won't overrun, keep making boost, because I'm taking the dome away if it goes higher than whatever my set amount was. This is my dwell time offset, RPM 3-step, RPM offset, whatever you want to call it, table. I have a video on setting this up, so if you want to watch that video, go watch that video. Kind of just going to skip over that because I've already gone over it. That's pretty much it. We can go ahead and look at the log now. So this is a log. Or I'll put the video up right now. So if you guys watch that video, I'm going to zoom out of this a little bit. If you watch that video, I'll show it again. You can kind of see the front end bounce and float. So I know I'm either losing power there because it's coming down and then it's trying to pick it back up, or there's a traction issue, or there's some kind of problem going on there because you want it smooth, right? So I think I found it on this pass. I went 535 at 132 mile an hour, and this is a Gen 4 stock bottom end. Rings are gapped. It's got a custom spec cam motion cam, yada yada yada, $799 heads. So here you can see I let go of the trans brake at almost spot on 12 pounds of boost, 4,300 RPM. Let's see what I was targeting. I was targeting 44 to 41. So it was actually not holding boost. I wasn't pulling enough timing then. So I was 9 degrees of timing. It was not holding the amount of boost it was supposed to drop down to that 4,100. But it was floating in between there. So it left at 4,260. And at 23 degrees of timing and 12 pounds of boost, you can see the converter really started grabbing it around 6 and 24 pounds of boost. I finally make like my target 34 pounds of boost at 1.3 seconds into the run. So you see why I don't currently have a boost ramp. It kind of it takes a second. And I don't know if that's my exhaust setup. I don't know if that's the turbo being inefficient. I don't know what the deal is there, but that's what it is. It goes up. I command the shift at 72, but because it's first gear and a 400, it takes a while to get there. So I commanded at 72. It finally shifts at 7750, which is why I lead that so much. It goes from 7750 to 6500, revs out to 7743, almost dead nuts on, and then drops to 6600 because it's loading the converter a little bit more. And then it makes 34 pounds of boost on the shift like every single time, and drops to 31 and a half, 32 as the motor gets more efficient higher up in the RPM. And I go out the back. So I'm going out the back this run at 15.8 degrees of timing here. When I'm at 34 pounds, I'm running 14.5. Target AFR is within a few percent the whole way. I'm really happy with that. So I can also show you guys what happened in the finals, which I had a staging issue. I don't want to talk about that anymore. But I will show you what I did to my tune that caused the car to react so much differently from my personal best pass to the finals pass. And literally, this is all I changed. I had taken, I think, 6 pounds off the nose of the car, but I hadn't changed anything from pass 3 to pass 4. So the semifinals, which was my personal best, 535, to the finals pass, which was it was junk, but which was a big wheelie. The only thing I changed is a little bit of timing. Let me run a compare. So I will compare that pass to my finals pass. Check this out. This is kind of nuts. It blew my mind when it happened. Okay, let me get rid of the overlay. The base, why can't I see it? I just want to see the delta. Okay. That's all I changed. So at 6,000 RPM, recognize that from where the converter coupled, I added 4 degrees of timing to try and smooth out this right here. See this dip? This purple dip? This is my timing. So I saw this. I'm like, oh, that converter really started grabbing and laying over right where my timing kind of flattened out. I'm like, I wonder if that's, the front end coming down. So I added 4 degrees of timing and I smoothed this out just a little bit. Guess what it did? Did a huge wheelie and hung the tires and would not come back down until I pedaled it. I'll even show you guys the log. Finals big wheelie. Here's the log. So leave off the button, comes up. Now where'd the converter grab? Instead of grabbing at 6,000 RPM, it started laying over at 65. Crazy, right? So it was that much ahead. And I feel like this, it's definitely a little better than a sharp, 90, but man, it kept going up and up and up. And I pedaled it. It was so much happier that pass. And it had to be just with a little bit of timing, because I didn't change anything else. Just blows my mind. But that's it. I just wanted to show you guys my tune. I know people get all nervous about stock bottom end tuning and stuff. You definitely don't be an idiot. And I can't tell you how many hits I have at 7 pounds, and then 9 pounds, and then 12 pounds, and then 15 pounds, and then 17 pounds, and then 19 pounds, and just working it up incrementally every couple pounds. Clean up the fueling, clean up the timing, go again, clean up the fueling, clean up the timing. I think where guys make their biggest mistakes is when they get a new build together. Guys are like, yeah, stock bottom ends can make 1,000 horsepower, and then they go put 20 plus 25 pounds boost to it, and they haven't checked all this stuff. If you got one head that's tweaked a little bit and you try to shove 25 pounds through it, well, you're gonna have problems. Whereas if you started out at 7, you would have found the problem probably before you heard something. So I don't know, hopefully you learned something. I don't think I gave away too many secrets, but 535 at 132 on a stock bottom end. Car weighs 3,400 pounds, and I already see room for improvement. That's with a crappier 60 foot than what I've had too, because it was still hot out. Sun was on the track. Really happy with the car. Really happy with the stock bottom end. If you learned something and you like this video, if you wouldn't mind hitting the like button and giving us a sub, we really appreciate it. Creeping up on 500, and it'd be, obviously it's the goal to get to 1,000 and all that jazz. If you like cool dad merch, if you're a dad and you want to support us, dadrodgarage.com, and we appreciate it. Thanks, guys.